Hello, friends!
Oh.
Greetings! Happy New Year! It's 2021, and it's the first episode of Mind and the Martyr for 2021, which is super, super hype. Look at all these wonderful faces. Look at all of those wonderful people watching. I don't know how you're going to do that, but just go ahead and try. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We are here. We are back. We are excited for another episode. Hope you're all doing okay, keeping well as you can be, considering vaguely gestures towards everything. We are going to go ahead and pretty much get right into the episode here. If you do follow Friends to Roll Dice, we've been a little quiet during January so far. We've got a few projects in the works, so we're going ahead and saving what spoons we need to. But considering the incredible cast here, I could not wait any longer to go ahead and jump into another game with these people. So, yeah, hype. We do have a few sponsors which keep the channel going. The first one is the wonderful folks at So Nerdware. So Nerdware are a fantastic little group that essentially sell a whole bunch of TTRPG related merchandise, whether that be shirts or whether that be dice or cups or mugs or anything along those lines. You can go ahead and head to their site, which should pop up in the chat at some point eventually. Go ahead and throw in friends for 10% off your order. You'll also find a whole bunch of merchandise related to various different small streamers that you might know, which is pretty awesome. And Maddie is great and does a whole bunch for the community as well. So go ahead and check them out. The other wonderful sponsor we have is the amazing folks at Grinding Coffee. Grinding Coffee are a Black LGBT-owned group who sell, well, coffee. They have a whole bunch of amazing different blends and flavors for you to try out. And if you're taking a look and you can't quite figure out what you want, they do have sample packs as well. Go ahead and check them out. Throw in the code FWRD for 10% off. That all goes to the channel. That helps us out. That helps us carry on doing some of the fantastic charity events that we've done before. And as it is the new year, especially since it's January, some of you may have noticed that your Prime subscriptions have relapsed. So if you want to go ahead and throw a little Twitch Prime or maybe a regular subscription to us, that would be fantastic. You'll help support everyone here. And we are hoping to grow, get bigger, do a whole bunch of charity stuff, and have a whole bunch of people, more people on and supporting the wonderful faces here as well. You will see around these people's faces are the Twitter, there we go, your Twitter handles. So go ahead and support everyone on the cast here as well. Shaking off some of that we haven't played in a few weeks rust right now. Yeah, we are also sponsored by the wonderful folks at DM Emporium. However, they are currently taking a break and going to relaunch later in the new year while Ty has a baby, and it's really exciting. Yeah, so keep an eye on them as well. One last thing, we are also a part of the fantastic Emporium streaming team. Emporium are a fantastically diverse group of creators, anything from cozy streams where you kind of just wrap up, have a coffee, talk to people, maybe play some Stardew Valley. We have people trying to do records with playing multiple games with only their feet. It's quite a thing to see, trust me, it's pretty good. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of various different things. Jesse looks horrified by that.
I'm so uncomfortable with this news.
Perfect. Go ahead and check out the wonderful folks at Emporium. You will see more of us on there. We've played a couple of Among Us games for charity with them, and we are going to be doing a couple of extra projects across the year. So go ahead and throw them a follow as well at Emporium Twitch. All right. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. I have to ask every time because someone here will have more brain cells than I do.
It's all not right.
Me. It is definitely not me.
All right, awesome. Good. Fantastic. Good. All right.
I think collectively we all have one brain cell between all of us.
It worries me how quick everyone just nodded. Just, yeah, no, that sounds about right.
Have you seen the decisions we make on this game?
I think I'm gonna lick that.
I don't know. I feel like how we handled the Worm Queen is still top notch.
That was...
That's true. That proves that there's more than one brain cell.
That was certainly an event, yes.
That will surely not have consequences.
No, definitely not. Absolutely. No consequences, no ramifications, nothing at all. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. It's arbitrary.
Not in the slightest.
Mm-hmm.
As it is the start of a new year, I am going to go ahead and quickly go around and introduce you to the cast real quick, or rather let the cast introduce themselves. Just a quick hi and what you do and all of that kind of thing, just so anyone tuning in for 2021 knows who you are. Gonna start from my left to right. So, Jesse,
I love it because I looked over and was like, who is the left to right? It's me. Hi, I'm Jesse at Who's the Moose on the interwebs. What was the question?
Just a little intro to yourself.
I'm also running tech. And
Fantastic.
if you see me lunge this way, it's because my second monitor is propped up by a scratching post, and the cat occasionally comes over and scratches on it. So there might be scratching noises, and there might be me frantically reaching over this direction. That's my intro, and it might be a gnocchi. Maybe you'll see a special gray appearance. That's my intro. Thanks for having me. Happy Monday.
Perfection. Hey, see, even one of the cats agrees. I don't know where that came
was
from.
gnocchi.
A cat agrees. Cool. See, gnocchi agrees. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Leona.
Hello, my name is Leona. You can find me on Twitter at the Leona Maple. I use she, her pronouns. What do? I'm a sensitivity reader, and I do a bunch of different things. So you should check me out on Twitter to know more about it. You can also find me behind the scenes at Vibrant Legends over on the Dicey Amazons channel. That is the general gist of me. Happy Monday.
Awesome. All right. Adam.
Hello, I'm Adam. You can catch me at AdamHardyVO on Twitter and Instagram if I'm ever on social media ever again. I run posts for the Mind and the Martyr, so a good one way to catch up is check out our YouTube channel, Friends Who Roll Dice. We do have a Mind and the Martyr playlist there. I add in some sound effects and music that I get from Sirenscape because they're an awesome program to use as well. Yeah. Oh, that's not a good roll. I just accidentally rolled on my D&D Beyond and it was bad.
I don't use digital dice, although my real dice don't like me either, so maybe it doesn't matter as much as I think it does.
So, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
No, I definitely prefer real dice.
I like the clacky noises. Also, did you say I was next?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so, but I wasn't sure. Hi, I'm Cole. I'm the artist for Friends Who Roll Dice. You can find me on Twitter at Cole Moriel, and yeah, that's me. I'm an artist. I'm small, and I've been in hiding for a long time. I might come out one day. I don't know yet.
Melissa.
Hello. Wow. I had this time to think about what I was going to say, and I did not do that. Yeah. Follow me on Twitter, and I say the things that I do. I do stream on Twitch sometimes. Earlier today, I was playing the game Gris, which was really fun and beautiful. No idea what I will be playing next. So if you have suggestions, go ahead and shoot those to my Twitter account. And yeah, thank you for being here.
I feel like since you do Spyro streams, I feel like you also need to go through the Crash Bandicoot series. I feel like that needs to be a thing.
Wait,
I
you
do
do
have
the Spyro
that, the
stream
whole like
series?
Crash Bandicoot thing. So maybe on Saturdays, usually I do Spyro, but I just finished Spyro 3, so I might take a short break before I go. I'm going backwards because that's the way I
Why not?
decided to do it when I started.
Why not?
Why not?
So I'm gonna go to Ripto's Rage next, but I might take a short break and do some indie games before I start another, because I got really mad at the end of Spyro 3. I know it's a child's game, but there are some really difficult areas, and I was like, okay, we're gonna
Listen,
move on
that
from this.
little
Thank
purple
you.
egg stealer, motherfucker, I will always be furious at.
Those are so difficult. And in the Reignited trilogy too, they've kind of changed it to where you
Yep.
can't flame directly from charging. So it makes it so much harder to get them. It like makes you stop
Yep.
between, and you're like, I was right
Sorry.
there. But I digress.
It's all right. Rochelle.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Dragon Gem on Twitch, the Dragon Gem on Twitter and Instagram. I do things, play a lot of Magic, tons of Magic, love the Magic. And for anybody who cares about sports ball, go Bills, yay!
Yes, I also enjoy the sports ball. No, I don't.
The Bills can have this one. It's hard to not cheer them on. It's been a long time.
A long time.
I was gonna say,
You
I
and your
prefer, like,
footballs that aren't
I prefer
actually
actual
footballs, it's
football.
just rugby with
Like,
armor.
feet.
I don't have answers. I don't know.
I don't
just
have
live here.
answers, only questions.
I just live here.
Alrighty. That's the cast. They are all absolutely fantastic. I can't stress that enough. Go ahead and follow them, give them some love, support their projects, and all of that wonderful stuff. Since it's the new year, we're going to go ahead and do a quick recap of everything that has happened up until this point. So any new people can go ahead and be at least a little bit caught up. And if you would like some more information about anything, go ahead and check out either the live version on Twitch or Adam's fantastic edits on the Friends Who Roll Dice YouTube channel, which are a little bit more condensed, and the post-production that he does is fantastic on them. So if that's your kind of thing, then go ahead and check them out there. So, no, I won't stop it. I am a stan of my friends. This is how it works. So at the very, very beginning of the Mind of the Martyr, we had our original party together, traveling strangely on an airship, being brought together by different notes that had been deliberately placed to pull people in. We spent some time on this airship getting to know our party at the time, getting to know why they were here, their goals, their motivations. And eventually, they all sat down for dinner together, just to see, well, one, just to socialize, and two, to see if there was anything alike in the reasons that they were here. This is when members of the crew started panicking. People started flitting to and fro into the staff areas of the airship. A panic was beginning to build to the customers and passengers of the ship, until suddenly people started disappearing. Plucked from the air, plucked from existence, as if they were never there to begin with, only left with a black mist and a black powder that's slowly dropped to the ground. A particular individual, Oren, had been working on this ship for a while and noticed the manager in the back, acting all shifty, strangely relaxed and determined. the group quickly decided to make their escape, taking some of the smaller crystal-like bikes that were powered and had actually been used a couple of days ago for a air race. Panicked at first, definitely, but eventually getting their bearings on this machine. As they took off and left the airship, another large ship began firing at all of our party, bolts left and right, as eventually they crash landed on the beach. Thankfully, everyone managed to get out okay. With some discussions between what to do next, they decided to get some rest and head out, upon which they found a shifter paladin, Torn, who had told them that the nearby city had been attacked. A resolution was made with the party to stick with Torn, to be escorted to the nearest city, in order to explain what happened to them on the airship. Some interesting encounters later, before we arrived and found the entire town was completely overrun by Kruthic. Turns out this was an inside job, as our party was soon to discover some individuals deliberately taking Kruthic eggs in order to attempt to sell them, and planting them to deliberately cause chaos, though to what end, no one yet knows. Even now, people are unaware of the reason it was done. Eventually, justice was served to a few of these individuals, and it was decided that we would carry onwards to another city in order to, 1, administer aid, and 2, to find out a little bit more about certain people's missions, certain people's desires and pushes. That ended up crossing the border of the wilderness, and we ended up in what essentially was a large, crowded, and rather desolate city. We found out that one individual's background came from one of being punished and marked by a magical group known as the Jacaranda, essentially the ruling, governing body of magic, the tutors, the educators, and also the controllers. When someone causes too much damage, commits crimes, etc., well, that is when the Magicanum steps in. We eventually found out part of this key was to travel to the Fireplane. And so we did. It was a rather arduous process going to the Fireplane, having to travel inside the nearby volcano where Orin discovered some interesting facts about his faith and perhaps his destiny also. A travel to the Fireplane brought us perhaps more questions than answers about Orin's monastery, his belief in the Three Sisters, and a strange primordial power that seems to seep and control much more than people realized, including our warlock at the time, who knew this was his patron, but perhaps not his stretch in power. Some more information was learned about certain situations going on in the world before we went ahead and parted ways with a few members of the party, coming back into the more material plane, let's say. Traveling back to Faith, they met Blink, an interesting assassin character played by the wonderful Dax, who essentially needed to figure out what exactly was going on with the party, specifically our little gnome Artificer, who had managed to poison himself during his time in the Fireplane. And baby, we'll say, in quotation marks, Obsidian Dragon was fought in order to create a cure for this poisoning. And it is when the crew returned that the entire city of Faith had vanished in the same black smoke and powder that had been seen on the airship itself. With the party not knowing much else to do, they decided to meet up with one of their NPCs that they had found and go ahead and essentially meet up with them and see what they could do next, which ended up bringing us into the introduction of Dawan. As they traveled away from Faith and up into one of the smaller villages, we found Dawan, essentially the town's medical advisor, so to speak, who ended up joining our party due to that. A small altercation involving electrical nonsense, and I can feel Jesse burning eyes into my soul.
Lightning Bear.
Yeah. More NPCs met, more fantastic conversations had. As we brought our way further up, we ended up losing our artificer, Jotra, saving Eridin from fragments of her past. These hunters of the Magicanum still elude our party to this day. Hopefully some more information will be found out as we continue to play along. Upon traveling to where we are now, Jinzo, we found the wonderful Mara, training and looking after the troops of the town in order to fight off an infestation of worms. Thankfully, there were plenty of people on hand to help, including the fantastic Jacaranda, who just happened to be around, decided to go ahead and help out our party after traveling for so long, perhaps by themselves, perhaps with others, who knows. Diving into a cave, we found ourselves wading through some nice gems and some not so nice slimy worms. Slimy giant worms, I should say.
We met Mara.
Yeah. Yeah, we met Mara and Janezo, we've met Jacaranda, and in the caverns, we met the fantastic Valentine as well, who was exploring the caverns, looking for some alchemical ingredients and stumbling into the situation. After the party strangely went ahead and made a deal with the Worm Queen in order to essentially benefit both parties, we traveled back for a celebration as a group in Janezo, which also led us to the departing kobold Soup, who left the party in order to find his father, who he long thought lost and hiding. He now found a chance to reconnect. Where we left our party, they had spent some time getting to know each other, talking, grieving as needed. We ended with a very heartwarming moment of everyone gathered together, camping out under the stars, having meals, sharing stories, getting to know each other better as the sun set and sleep took everyone. I have skimmed past a lot of details and a lot of lore, so go ahead and check out some of the old episodes and get yourself up to date, especially the introductions of all these wonderful people and their characters. Again, as it is a new year, I'm just going to get everybody to very, very quickly describe your characters again, just so we have a fresh perspective for everyone tuning in. Going to do the same order, so Jessie first. You can go ahead and describe
Yes.
Dawan a little.
I can describe Dawan. I have nailed down her exact physical description. She
Got it,
Dawan
confident.
is a average, but on the taller end. So like 5'8". She's my height. Let's just say she's my height. Shifter, who has interesting facial markings. It kind of looks like vitiligo, but more like pronounced freckles and a soft, downy fur. Like if you pet her, she's a little downy to the touch because she's covered in like really short fuzz, but like it doesn't look like she's furry. Does this make sense? Good, great. Hair brown up in a bun. Her features look a little feline, but the thing that stands out the most is the size of her eyes, which are quite large and reflective. Way more than, a human. She also has 2 cats that come and go as they please. Poultice and Pestle. Should I describe the cats?
I mean, you can if you'd like.
Poultice is a hairless sphinx. She looks mean and is just full of wrinkles and sags. And Pestle is a very fluffy Persian whose face looks like it's been absolutely smashed in and likes to smash his face into people's hands. Oh, she also has a satchel that she carries with her at all times. It's very large. It clinks a lot. It has everything she needs as a cleric who likes to make potions and poultices to heal.
Wonderful. Leona, could you tell us a little bit about Valentine?
Absolutely. So Valentine is a Leonin cleric. She is, I'd say, about my height, so 5'8" and I don't know what
that was a 5'8" represent.
That was great. One of her more notable features is that she has a very pink. She's got lots of pink hair on her head, so she's got kind of a mane of pink hair, and a very friendly smile. She dresses in robes, kind of like a witch, and she has a broom as well. I think that's all there is to her.
Fantastic. All right. Adam, tell us a little bit about Orin.
Orin Thistlefoot is a halfling monk, standing at about 3'2". So he's the only shorty. He is dressed in a black gi with a red sash. He has very fair skin, green eyes, and bright red hair that sticks up quite a bit. He carries a beautifully made crimson wood quarterstaff that is actually from the tree of Saya, which is where his monastery it was built. And he also has the symbol of the 3 sisters tattooed on his chest, which is a bright red tree that comes up, and it actually grows up his neck a little bit. Nobody's seen what it does on his back, but I don't think so. No, when we were digging around for worms, I was naked. You guys saw it. It was like... So the tattoo comes down, the trunk comes down to about his belly, and then the roots wrap around his back.
Wonderful. Cole, tell us a little bit about Aridin.
Aridin is I forgot her height. She's like 5'8". She's on the taller side. She's a 5'8", light purple tiefling with dark purple hair pulled into a high ponytail and golden horns that curl back. She has pupilless, glowy yellow eyes and a little moon symbol on her forehead. not at all inspired by Sailor Moon. We're not going to talk about it. She has one mechanical arm that's porcelain and gold, and her right wing is also clockwork, and her other wing is not clockwork. And she has a Tressum familiar named Ashtalora, who looks like a black and gray Norwegian forest cat, and she is very large and definitely doesn't listen to Eridan and does what she wants. Yeah. Oh, and she has a really fancy sword, which is kind of important because it's like how she casts spells and stuff. It's a double-ended scimitar, and it glows when she does magic stuff, and there's like celestial runes on it, and there's like secrets about it and stuff.
There's secrets about it and stuff can probably sum up too much of this campaign. Melissa, why don't you let us know a little bit about the wonderful Jacaranda?
So, Jacaranda is an Enkaima cleric, which is like a plant person. She looks like a jacaranda tree. The way I imagine her is looking like Diana Ross, but with kind of like bark-like skin, and then a large purple afro made of flowers. Only during the spring, though, like when it's not spring, then she doesn't have the giant purple afro. It's just leaves and stuff that look like ferns, like a jacaranda tree. And yeah, she is, although she is old, she seems very new because she hasn't really interacted with people directly before, more of like a watcher, and enjoying spaces by being planted in them and learning about them through the earth rather than engaging with people. So that's Jacaranda, or Jack.
Okay, but can I say that I love that our party now is one small, three 5'8" average, and one tall.
Yeah, Jacaranda's like 6 feet.
It's so funny because we went from like 4 like 3 foot and under to now all tall people. Poor Orin is just, yep.
Can you give me a boost up here, can you?
No, we need Pavasari back.
Mara, if you can go ahead and describe the wonderful bard that is Mara.
So Mara is human. She's got mocha brown skin. She's also 5'8", because apparently everyone has to be that tall. She has hazel eyes. She's curvy but not overly plump. She's wearing fancy midnight blue studded leathers and a cloak that's also midnight blue. She has 2 scimitars that are strapped to her back. They are like blue silver. Yeah, and that's her. When she casts spells, she does step dance team movements when she casts, and that's how her bardic stuff comes to her. And that's it.
Fantastic.
Would also love to add that the 3 characters that have joined, they will be getting art soon, so there will be visuals. I am just I'm just catching up. To be seen. Yes.
Soon, TM.
Soon. TBD.
Soon. Whoa. I don't know what that was. Alrighty. So, with that all out of the way, sorry, it's a very extended intro tonight as we go ahead and bring in the wonderful 2021. I hope it's wonderful. Please be wonderful.
No,
Last
just
couple of days.
let 2021
Anyway.
itself. No expectations, just borderline. That's it.
I have expectations. It's just they're through the floor.
Reality's gonna do what reality's gonna do. Let's play some D&D.
Yeah, pretty much at this point.
Please let me play pretend with my friends, and we'll put math in it to make it like adulty or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, as we just went over, everyone went ahead and had a good night of meals, discussions, and relaxation as everyone camped out under the beautiful stars of Vaka. Vaka's 2 moons close and glowing, filling the majority of the ground with that kind of lunar reflective, that lunar reflection. Eventually, the morning does take you. Unfortunately, for the majority of you, as you are awoken by a rather aggressive and rambunctious thudding from the distance. Rhythmic in nature, the scraping of metal of some kind filling and carrying across the airwaves that does stir the majority of you as you awake. The sounds appear to be coming a little closer as everyone is stirred from their sleep. The rhythmic nature is staying very much in pace as the sound is getting louder. The floor is yours.
Does it sound like footsteps, like the scraping of armor?
As you kind of pull yourself awake and listen in a little, it sounds like the scraping of armor, yes. In fact, it almost sounds like a march.
Jotra, you're making something again. It's too early for this.
Jotra's no longer here, remember? And Dawan's going to creep. Feline creep towards the sound.
Mara is going to head towards the sound. No creeping about
me
it.
out of my creep.
That's okay. Mara's not wanted by anyone, so she's gonna go see what's
that
going
an implication of wanted?
The implications.
Saying.
Ashtaro's gonna trot after Mara.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
My friend is shady.
Okay, they're friends too now.
Well, this is true.
Jesse, you got advantage from Tyler.
Yes, you have advantage on whichever roll you would like. You can spend it whenever. You can spend it today, you can spend it on your next roll, you can spend it in 30 episodes time.
So which direction did we hear this thing coming in?
As your senses are now coming to you, it seems like it's coming from the north exit of the village. It's coming towards you.
I will. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get a bearing. So it's coming from the town that we were just at, and we're outside, and we're off to the side of the road, correct?
Yeah, so you're just outside on the south boundary.
Mm-hmm.
The sound is loud and it's coming from the north. So the exit of the town going north, so they are coming into the village. And they will, if they carry on, they will be exiting and coming past you as they're going south. Correct.
Valentine, go ahead.
Sixth sense, just to see if it feels positive or negative. If they're close enough. Whatever it is.
Right now, they wouldn't be close enough.
Okay.
I was trying to think of the range. I was like, yeah, no. You wouldn't be close enough right now to be able to use your 6th sense.
Valentine, meanwhile, is a very sleepy being who is just like, no, let me sleep some more. Please let me sleep some more.
I would message Orin and say, you guys should probably keep out of sight until I figure out who this is.
All right, and Orin will scurry up a tree. Not sure what she meant by that, but okay.
A tree, any tree, not
Not Jacaranda.
Not Jacaranda, but like tree, just.
We need to specify now.
Yeah, you do need to specify that.
Did you scamper up our tree friend?
I travel up a
between
tree.
jacks
I'm right
and between trees.
Right. Yeah, my love of a golem is something else now. But no, not Jack, but I will just kind of climb up a tree and post out and watch.
I wouldn't mind accompanying you, Mara. I don't need to sleep.
Okay, I slow down for Jacaranda.
I'm so slow. I'm sorry.
She is slow.
You'll go ahead. I'll just follow at my own pace.
Okay.
at my own pace, aka the only pace I can go.
My own pace.
Right, if I crawl up about like 30-40 feet, am I able to see like in the distance like what's coming up?
You certainly are. Although I am going to make you do a perception check anyway, just to see how much you see, or how much detail you see.
Perception is not...
First roll of 2021, and it's a perception check, because of course it is.
A non-natural 20.
Hey, I was almost there. I'll take a dirty 20. I'll take a dirty 20.
Yeah.
All right. So, as you climb your way up, you take a look towards the northmost side of the village. The first thing you see is the morning sunrise is just glistening off of this sparkling, not even steel, almost silver armor of what seems to be probably about 40, 50 individuals, all in the same mail, all lined up in formation, marching down from the north through what seems to be through the town. You see one individual leading them. From this point, you probably can't pick out exacts, but you can definitely see the difference in armor. This individual seems to have a black trim and black decorations around this silver armor. He seems to be wearing, instead of a helmet, some kind of signet band around his head, with what appears to be a sparkling white-ish jewel emplaced in the center. The gentleman himself actually seems pretty old. He is probably around about 60 years old. Slightly wrinkled, but more battle-scarred than anything else. Sections of his well-kept beard have actually been torn out from the heavy scarring that he's had during his life. He is missing an eye entirely, and just has it kind of taped over with some military tape. His other eye seems to almost glisten in the sunlight with a brownish gold. The individual is pretty well built, especially considering his age. He seems to have 2 weapons that I don't think you've ever seen before on your sides, and it's probably too much of a distance for you to work out what they are right now, but you can definitely see them glistening in the light as well. He seems to be at the front, and there seems to be some kind of insignia inscripted into his plate, but from this distance, you wouldn't be able to tell what it is.
Dang.
Jacaranda, you would hear in your head, cover your gemstones.
Oh yeah, they're like, if it's not in the darkness, then they'll be like inside, like my bark.
So I assume I see this person.
You see these individuals coming towards you.
Do I
They are
recognize-
marching in lockstep.
Do I recognize any insignia or anything?
Yeah, you would. As you're taking a look at the individual in front, due to some experiences you've had, you have a little bit of information about noble insignia. This particular insignia belongs to the Kingdom of Ansaya, which is the country to the north of you. It appears as they are getting closer that every single member of this little band has some kind of insignia, whether it be the flag pole carrying, or whether it be inscriptions into either the pauldrons or the chests themselves. The insignia itself is a darkish blue-black background with a twisting, roaring dragon of silver looking up.
And that kingdom, is it near where she's from?
Yes. So where you are, you have Ansaya is to the north of you right now. Where you come from, it would be to the west.
Okay.
Our
Kingdoms are friendly?
Yes, it's a bordering country. There has been some altercations, but for the most part, they've been friendly. Nothing but just general little spits and spats. Nothing particularly. No wars, no political intrigue, nothing like that.
And would I know how this person would be addressed?
For that one, go ahead and roll a history check.
$22.
Okay. Yeah. This particular armor is definitely 100% functional, but it's also a little bit more decorative. This person holds a lot of status. This isn't just a commander's outfit. This is something special. Formalities are always going to help you in some regards. Although you're not sure of their exact title, they seem to be a little bit above a general commander.
Okay. So she would approach him and bow or salute, whatever the appropriate she would know.
It would be a salute.
She would salute. Hello, are you passing through?
He pulls a fist up just to halt everyone behind him. He goes ahead and salutes back to you. Greetings. We are on official business. If you would please stand aside.
Sure, may I be of assistance? I've been here for like the last week. Is there something you're looking for?
That depends how much information you have. I do not suppose you have been towards the land south of here, or you know anyone who has.
Well, I did go to the fancy standing stones, but I didn't go any further south than that.
I'm afraid I need a lot more south than that.
Is there danger?
We have received some incredibly concerning reports that I have been ordered by Her Majesty to look into.
Well, me and my friends are traveling. Is there somewhere we should avoid?
He pauses for a moment, just to make sure that no one else is around. I do not wish to cause fear, but you seem well equipped enough. I assume you are a traveler or something else.
Yes, my name's Mara Katani, Bard Extraordinaire.
Bard extraordinaire. Interesting. Well, it would be impolite of me not to respond. I am Knight Commander Sinclair of the Ansayan military. A pleasure. We have received reports of problems in the south. Specifically, an infestation. We sent a few soldiers, or I have a few soldiers with me in order to hopefully be rid of that infestation and save anyone who may still be around. The last report I had, well, we were hoping... we are sure that the defenses of the town still hold. I was sent to investigate regardless by Her Majesty.
Oh, are you talking about the worms? We already took care of that.
The worms? I'm sorry, I do not follow.
Yeah, there was a worm infestation. We took care of it.
He seems genuinely confused for a second as his brows kind of furrow a little bit. He's... I was told...
worms? She would go like this, like they're, well, maybe this big. Worms?
I was told there was and he pauses as he notices Jacaranda approaching. He turns towards her and instead of saluting, gives her a deep bow, a knight's bow. He directly goes to one knee and pulls himself across.
Jacaranda just mimics that, so she does the exact same thing.
Knight Errant Sinclair, may I introduce Jacaranda?
It is an honor to be in presence of one such as you. I've only seen one other in my lifetime.
Oh, that's more than I've seen.
I see. Apologies. Back to the matter at hand. I was told the infestation was far more towards the south. I do not mean to cause offense, but you don't mind if I go ahead and speak to some other individuals in the village, do you?
Sure. Would you like introduced around?
That would be fantastic. He turns and kind of gives another signal to his men as his men pull down their spears and slam them into the ground and pull themselves straight to attention.
I'd message Adam. They're looking into an infestation from the south. I thought they meant the worms, but it doesn't seem like it is the worms they're looking for.
Adam or Oren?
Yeah.
Sorry, Oren.
Okay. I was like, NPC Adam or
I was like, poor Oren's like...
Because I meant to say I'll
Look it off
go
the
and
bird.
introduce him to Adam. And while I'm introducing him to Adam, I am messaging Oren.
Okay.
with the message spell.
Okay, so
Saying that they're looking for people from the south who have information. I don't know how much you or Eridan or Dawan want to say about your travels, but that's what they're here looking into.
if they're
I'm going
talking
to introduce
about
them around.
if they're talking about an infestation worse than those wormies, they're probably talking about the Kruthix.
And I'm not sure. So, like I said, it's your tale to tell, but I'm going to introduce them to Adam.
We'll be there shortly, and I'll kind of scurry back down the tree. And is Eridan awake, or she roll back over?
No, she's awake. She actually would be near the tree where she saw Orin go hide, and she would have been watching all of this through Ashtalora.
Well, I don't think they're with him at Jacaranda, so I think we might be all right to go talk to him. Mara says they're actually on the move, hearing rumors about an infestation south, so I think they're talking about Yilton.
Would make sense. My first thought was Zitane, but it's probably Yilton.
Zitane too. Both of them, really.
Yeah, something odd's going on there. I wonder if they know anything about the ships, if it is Yilton.
It's a possibility, I guess. But we should probably rally everybody up and go check it out.
Okay.
And as we're walking with the knight errant Sinclair, I would ask if he knows my mother, Aya.
So have I heard that name before?
She's a knight of the realm from
For Ansaya or elsewhere?
From Endir.
Endir. He kind of pauses and kind of runs a hand through his beard. It's just, You know, I don't think I know her very well, but I think I've seen her in passing during diplomatic associations. The Knights of Endir are perhaps the only knights around that are even more vigilant than we are. Less experienced, perhaps, because Endir seems like a relatively peaceful place, but, well, I have respect for them.
And I imagine around this time we're getting to Adam's place.
I actually had a question for him as well. You said you have met someone like me. Where was that and how long ago? And what did they look like?
It's only the one. Perhaps 10, 12 years ago, somewhere around there. Them and another small band of individuals were contracted to help out with a small problem we had. It has been a while. I only saw them briefly, but everyone knows that to see one of your kind is a symbol of good luck. As for image, well, they were a little plainer than you. Simply just some small trellises almost coming from their head, going down and running across their shoulders. The top part of their head being relatively blank. Just long rose trellises coming down and then across their body. Spickle was their name.
What was it?
Spickle.
Okay.
Spickle. C-K?
Ellie.
Ellie, I think.
And
know.
where?
Where I saw them.
Yes.
They were contracted, so they were contracted by us. So they came to the capital.
Oh.
They came to City.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your help. I hope I am good luck.
Me too. All right. He will go ahead and stroll up and knock on the door. Just, kind citizen, may I have a word? You hear the immediate freaking and flapping of birds and incessant tweeting as they begin to jump from podium to podium. The door opens up and you see
A bird in a trench coat. Oh.
Well
Perfect.
played.
You see you see Adam come out
Oh, wait. Is it Bird Leader?
as he's
Okay, carry on. I'm sorry.
as damn it. As Adam has pulled the handle, the first thing you can see his hand with one of his birds currently sat on it. As he pulls it away, you see multiple birds just perched and stretched across that arm. As he just, all right, well, what's the oh, he kind of goes ahead and shoos the birds away and does like a really wonky salute as he tries to stand to attention as best he can. Just, hello. What can I what can I do for you, sir? Well, and Sinclair turns towards the two of you. You're saying that he will have more information, yes? Looking
About
at Mara and Jacaranda.
He would know people in this town. I don't know if he'd have any more information about your concerns to the south, but
It's okay. Kind citizen, I wish to know a little bit of information regarding the troubles that you've been having recently, specifically this infestation. What caused it? What is it about? And if you keep a record of any travelers or refugees that travel through this village. Adam kind of looks a little strangely. All right, I can do that. Let me just. Come in. Sorry, so rude. Come in. You two as well. Go ahead. I got some juice around here somewhere. Where's me? And he kind of begins to frantically look around for his little harness of juices and liquids. Just somewhere around here, and just pomegranate. Will you shut up? Just 1 second, please. I'll feed you in a sec. This is important business. Shh. He carries on. He pauses a moment as he's kind of mixing something together, just thinking something over, before making a little cup and juice set for everyone and begins handing out to the three of you. Do your friends need to be around for this, or are they coming? Should I make more juice? I don't.
I think about at that time would be like Oren comes strolling in. Oi, Adam, how are you, lad?
Juice. I should have made more juice. All right, give me a second. How many of you are there
I
outside
hand
of this,
mine to Oren because I don't drink juice.
I don't drink.
All I can see
Juice.
is
Or
I can
we're
see
on the
is when
ground.
Adam says hello to Adam is the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Oh, it's water for you, isn't it? Yes, right. All right. I can get you that. It's
Oh
fine.
no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I just
Sure.
I'll give one it's just one less juice that you have to make.
All right. And there's all right, so there's you, there's the wing gal, there's the medical gal, and then there's the one with the really nice hair. That's right. Am I missing anyone? I don't think I'm missing anyone.
Sounds about right.
All right.
So, Knight Errant, what information did you receive that brought you here?
Sinclair nods and pulls the door closed behind him. As he looks towards Adam, he just, may I take a seat? Oh, of course. Just go grab one of those. Banana, show him one of the good seats. You watch as this little bird flies over to one of the seats by the table. And he goes ahead and Sinclair goes ahead and sits down. He pulls the two weapons off of his side and just kind of leaves it on the table in order for him to sit a little more comfortably. He immediately sits with the stature and poise of someone who has done a lot of formal meetings and formal gatherings. His posture is almost perfect. As looking at Sinclair, his age almost betrays him. He seems to move and sit like a young man, though he himself is clearly older. He settles and takes a sip of one of Adam's drinks before he says, "We received word from a messenger from the city of Zatane, the capital. Seems like there was a problem there, although the message itself was a little, vague. Not having much information and realizing we had received no messages for a few days, eventually we were mobilized. It is difficult to navigate situations on other people's lands, especially when you cannot actually get contact with those individuals. So it took us a few weeks to get everything done and settled before it was agreed for us to move over. I have not heard anything else from any of the other cities, or any of the towns for that matter, and such we came to investigate. You're telling me there was an infestation here, too?"
There was an infestation here. I'm not familiar with the one in Zatane, but the one here we took care of.
I see. You must be capable individuals.
Mara's
Sure.
quite the speaker.
But extraordinaire, I think they said. Something to that effect. It would make sense.
But if you're wondering about Zatane, there was quite an attack down there. Myself and my friend here, that's kind of where we landed. And there was being attacked by beasties called Kruthiks, I think they were called. Big purple toothy fuckers, you know?
Kruthik.
It's mighty good though.
You watch his head sink into his hand as he begins to just massage his temples a little bit. Kruthik, yes, yes, I know the ones. They can burrow their way into the ground. They are very aggressive and they breed far too fast. I know the ones.
Aye. And just a real quick, like, player to DM question. in Zentane, when we came back from the fire plane, they were just like overrun and destroyed, right? If that's not the city where everybody disappeared, that was Yilton.
So Zetaine was the first city you went to. It was overrun by Kruthic. You went ahead and headed to Yilton to go and get help across the wall.
Mm-hmm.
When you came back from the fire plains, Zetaine had been essentially wiped out, and the few survivors had slowly made their way to Yilton.
Okay, so we've actually not been back to Yilton. We just know that there were refugees.
You've been back to Yilton. That's where everyone was disappeared. You haven't been back to Zetaine yet.
Oh shit, that's what I meant.
Yes. It's okay. We haven't played in ages.
I'll keep them straight. Okay. Well, the last that I've heard of... Let me pull up the damn map again. Hold on. Last I've heard of Zentane was from refugees running into Yilton. A place just been overrun.
That is concerning, since we have not heard any word from Yilton either.
Yilton sort of had their own attack.
I see. Very well.
Have you heard anything about ships disappearing or people disappearing out of thin air by chance?
With respect, I only know what I need to know. I know a lot, but I am not the best source of information for current events sometimes. Although I can go ahead and speak to Her Majesty, see whether I would be privy to that information.
Can you speak to her over a long distance, or are you headed back? Because it sounds like Zetaine, there's not much to investigate, and you're probably going to need a bigger army.
Which actually brings me to the next comment I was going to make. Is this everyone in your traveling party, or are there others that you need to gather?
Has Valentine come with us?
Yeah, we're on the boat.
She's awake. She's with you.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I was like, is Jesse lurking in the
back out?
or Dawan lurking in the shadows?
Stop telling me that I'm not in the meeting. I am in the meeting. Sorry.
Okay. So as you all kind of affirm this, Sinclair just... Good. Okay. To be blunt with you, my men are incredibly well trained, but 40 men against well, if this silence is to be believed, almost month-long established hive of Kruthic is going to be an incredibly difficult challenge. I have some funds given to me from the Crown for additional support. Supplies, weapons, or manpower. You are more than welcome to decline, but I would like to extend an offer of employment to you.
Well, what's the mission? You think that a hive of Kruthic is going to be a challenge for 40 people, well-trained soldiers, and you want to send our fucking lot?
This mention of a hive. Are
You said you'd already been there.
just glorified exterminators? This is the second time we're dealing with bugs.
The Kruthic are less insects than they are monstrosities. We had actually thought them exterminated for a very, very long time. The fact that they are back is concerning. There are only a few known living specimens of Kruthic left.
Are those specimens supposedly kept by the Jacaranda?
A few of them would be, yes, as is expected of the Magic Harnum. Others, as much as people would not like to admit, are also smuggled here and there. I assume the nest would have a few, if you believe those tales.
How were they dealt with the first time?
Difficulty. As a thank you for our help in mediating the political boundaries of the chromatic divergence, well, we had a few of the dragon allies we had help us out in the extermination of some larger hives.
A hive larger than a city?
There was quite an infestation back in the day. Before my time, far before my time. Thousands of years we're talking about. Was understood that they were for the most part exterminated, but little pockets of resistance have popped up here and there, but not a full-blown hive, and as I'm sure you can imagine, we would like to keep it that way.
Does Your Majesty have any dragon friends currently?
What dragons were left after the event have gone into hiding.
Does she maybe have a way to contact one in such an emergency?
Information I would not be privy to, I'm afraid.
Orn's gonna kind of squeeze up to Aridin real quick and just be like, do you have a way to message across the plains?
I do, but whether or not it will actually get there is the question.
Because if it's gonna take a dragon, I mean,
Nothin?
Nerthen might be able to help.
It's worth a shot.
What kind of funds are we talking about?
And this isn't a full-blown hive. I mean, we've fought these things before. They're only like 4 or 5 at a time. They're not. They're still quite dangerous.
Well, considering how long they've been left alone for, there's no way to know, but we must expect the absolute worst. If it's an easy job and it's not a full-blown hive, well, you get your gold. And it's an easy job for you. The offer of employment still stands, regardless of the resistance you encounter.
Oy.
As for funds, as you say, he begins to kind of look around all of you. Almost a knowing gaze of sizing you and your abilities up as he's looking across you. 300 gold each should be more than sufficient.
How about instead a boon from your liege?
Wait, a boon each?
Bards.
I cannot promise you something that I am not able to give, but if you do not wish to take the funds, I can organize an audience.
That would probably be best. Because from what I'm hearing from you, the first time you had to have dragons come to your aid. I'm pretty sure you had to give the dragons quite a bit to take care of this problem. And we're a lot squishier than dragons. So yes, A boon for each from your liege would be our price.
The boon you will have to discuss with Her Majesty personally, but I can most assuredly offer you an audience and my word on your side.
Audience pre us taking care of the problem?
If you would like to go ahead and travel all the way north, you may.
Do you not have any way to reach out to your leash?
She may reach out to me. I am not of the magical susceptibility, magical variety.
Let me discuss with my compatriots, and if you want to take in the rest of the town, talk to others, and we'll come find you when we're ready with our decision.
Mara, what? Oh, actually, everyone. What is your passive insight?
13. Hey!
13.
13.
17.
Mara's passive insight is 18.
Valentine's is 15.
15. And was that a 17 from Jacaranda?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Valentine, Mara, and Jacaranda. He's not lying, but you get the sense that he is holding on to a little bit more information than you think he has disclosed.
Okay. It would still be the same thing. We'll come find you. We'll talk about this.
That's very well.
What vibe do I get from my vibe check?
Sinclair. You get a warm feeling, but you do get tinges of almost pinpricks across your skin. There's something a little else. He's a good person, but perhaps not always in the traditional sense of good, let's say.
Okay.
Besides, some people think that they're the good guys. And they are not always the good guys.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone apart from Eridan would recognize the weapons that are currently sat on the table. Just due to Eridan's general knowledge of weaponry. These are two long, thin blades. They appear to be sharpened both on the hilt itself. There's two spikes coming out of the hilt facing away on the top, on the bottom of the hilt itself. The blade then carries on up and actually bends and hooks at the top.
Okay.
The entire section of the hook and the point of the hook itself is sharpened. They almost look like bladed fish hooks, almost. He has one in each hand. And on the bottom of the hilt is the little pommel, and there is what appears to be a decorative carving of the same insignia he wears on his chest.
So they're like the hook swords that Cabal uses in Mortal Kombat?
They are hook swords, yes. Also, nice reference. But yes, they are hook swords.
As he's leaving, I message Dawan. Can your cats keep watch?
I can ask them nicely. Poultice,
Communicating with cats.
Undoubtedly agree. And so I'll just summon my cats, I guess. They just appear as cats do when you're looking for them sometimes, when you least expect them to show up.
They're like familiars,
that's
but
like
not quite.
They're not special. They're just cats.
All right, but Astralora is kind of.
This is true.
She stands out.
This is true.
It's true.
I do have minor illusion. I could just make her
so
wings
what
like
I'm
not
hearing is Secret
there.
Cat Squad survey. All right.
Yes.
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 Please.
Yeah. All right. I will.
We have
I
our
will
little
cast
cat
a spell
squad
to
on
talk to
watch.
my animals so that they
Cat squad.
so they keep an eye on things.
Cat squad assemble.
do it.
Secret.
I am
Party who loves cats and our cats.
Okay.
Okay, so after he leaves, and they're sure that he's gone. Adam, what do you think? Actual Adam, not Warren.
Oh. Wait, actual Adam isn't me? NPC Adam.
Are you actually Adam?
Juice Man.
Are you
Adamception.
Yeah, are you actually Juice Man, Adam? Do you constantly just walk around with
We
juice?
are all Adam.
Do you have 27 birds?
Oh. Okay, NPC Adam.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of feeling did you get from him? You're a good judge of character.
Sinclair hasn't left.
I said after he left.
Oh, okay,
True.
right.
She did say
I was
that.
gonna say.
I said
Sinclair
after
hasn't
he left,
just yet.
and the cats have made sure he's gone.
Yes.
Then I turn.
Cool.
Disclaimer.
No worries.
Diddly, diddly, diddly.
He got a
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it right in front of his face. Hey, what do you think?
he kind of scratches his head and just, he's awful serious, isn't he? He's a little, he's a little on edge. I've seen a couple of his type, but not many. Yeah. Well, yeah, he's not exactly friendly, is he? But he seems serious enough. That look in his eye of actually caring about what he's saying, you can't fake that.
Have you heard of these crew tech? Is that what they're called?
I think he said Kruthic.
Kruthic.
I have no idea. Not anything from my time, and I haven't encountered any of them myself, so I don't know.
Do I know anything about these? Like, should I do like a history? Or...
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Okay. That's 18.
Okay. Yeah, so the Kruthic, although they seem like insects, they are definitely more monstrous. They are relatively large, toothed. Their legs are also bladed at the end, can be used to impale. They are terrifying creatures. There was one, as Sinclair has said, there was one major instance of a Kruthic infestation. After the historical events of the Chromatica Convergence, due to the amount of fighting and due to the amount of individuals who were slain, the Kruthic essentially began to infest the battlefields, using those who had been slain as fuel. Without anyone noticing, too busy drawing up peace treaties and protecting their borders, a full-blown mega hive was created that caused a ton of destruction, ravaged, killed a whole bunch of people, until some of the allies of some of the other nations, and of course the dragon allies, waged an extermination campaign, which they thought had wiped out the Kruthic as a whole. There are, however, stories of various different places of small infestations. Nothing really major, like nothing more than what a town guard would be able to deal with, like a well-trained and well-staffed town guard could be able to deal with. Yeah, apart from that, there's not much information about them. No one really knows where they came from. They are very much based on like pheromones, like ants are. They have a queen, they have stronger protectors, they have weaker protectors, they have workers, etc. The smallest type are the workers themselves, and the runts, so.
Would any of us know, like, how long it took for the mega hive to form?
Jacaranda would be able to tell that from some of the stories that you've heard as you've traveled. The mega hive, people estimate, probably took about 3 to 4 months.
Ooh, and we're pushing on 1 to 2 right now?
You're about a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long is the travel time to?
It would be a few days, a couple of days. 2 days if you were quick, 3 at a stretch.
Who's Zatane?
Yeah.
From where you are now to Zatane, yeah, if you took a direct route rather than following the road around.
But we have
Okay. 'Cause I
40
was gonna say, I
soldiers
thought it
with
took
us.
us like a couple of weeks last time, or a week.
Yeah, but that was like that was going the other direction.
Yilton is miles away from everything else.
Yeah.
So that trek took you a while.
Super far west. We're actually just north of Zentane.
Okay.
Yes.
So you all fought them. So how hard were they to kill?
Well, they're certainly not a walk in the park, but I mean, we've killed them before.
So I will also mention, like, in character and say, like, this sounds like a big problem that should be taken care of as soon as possible. If not by the army, by someone.
Do I get the feeling the Worm Queen would know anything about? I mean, she was like basically just raised in the Jacaranda, right?
You don't know.
Valentine kind of speaks up and goes, "Well, I don't entirely understand why he's asking us to do it, particularly when it would take dragons to have destroyed the previous mega colony or mega hive thingy. It feels weird."
Maybe they just don't want to lose their own soldiers, so they're hiring whoever they think might.
It didn't seem like to me he wanted us just to handle it. He wanted us to accompany him to handle it. So they would still be going with us,
Just extra help.
but extra help, basically.
Yeah, I've seen Townsguard hire adventurers to do the kind of thing. Honestly, I think it might be worth a shot. And if it gets really bad, Eridan, do you have any way of contacting anyone? I mean, can we get in touch with Nerthan?
I can certainly try.
He might be on our side. I think the guy kind of likes us.
Okay.
Who is Nerthan?
He's a dragon.
A friend of ours.
Okay. But I don't know that I trust traveling
I'm
with
sorry.
my Aunt Sinclair.
You have a friend that's a dragon.
We met him in the fire plane. He's more
In the
of an
fire plane.
acquaintance.
Oh, that doesn't sound. I don't think I'd want to go there.
It'd be bright.
And
It's very hot. It's very uncomfortable.
It was quite warm, yes.
Well, I, for one, would like to meet your friend. So yeah, let's do that.
Mara, you were saying you don't trust traveling with them?
I don't know if I do trust traveling with them.
No, I think we should scout ahead.
I might have to scout a bit behind.
I love Jack so much. I'm gonna cast Sending, and I'm gonna send a message to Nerthan, and I'm just going to say, I always want to cast it like Jester, but I'm not chaotic enough. Hello, Nerthan. If you get this, we're looking for some help with an infestation. Would you be willing to aid us in getting rid of a lot of
My
Kruthic?
favorite thing about sending is
Wow.
it's a tweet. You're tweeting.
My favorite thing about the one she just said is she said infestation and then a lot of. Because infestation didn't describe that.
But like when I counted it, I was like, "Oh, it's perfect. It'll wrap up so nicely." I could have said an infestation with another infestation of infestations. Anyway,
Shit's infested.
I
we
sent
need
that
help.
to Nerthan and hope to God it gets through. I don't know if I'd have to use the rest of the words. Like, do you have to send 25 words?
No.
It's up to
You
though,
can just
if
send
up
like
to.
sending emojis.
Yeah, 25
over
words
just
or less.
Mental images of your face. Winky face. Pouty
Winky
face.
face.
Tears.
Oh
Bug
my
emoji.
God.
Bug emoji. Bug emoji.
Oh my God.
Okay, roll a d100.
Okay, D100. I have those. There's one. There's two. That is 92. Nope, just kidding. I take it back. That was a D8, not another D100. Where did it go? Okay, 95.
Okay. Cool. You go ahead and cast Sending.
So yes, I don't think we should travel with them. Scouting ahead is probably fine. But my concern is the people that are after you. Would they be anywhere near?
Well, hey, having a battalion of troops on your tail might actually help if we run into any trouble.
Okay, and we're all in agreement. We hold out for the boon, right?
Absolutely.
I don't understand what that is.
A
What are they?
request,
What
a
are we
favor,
getting?
A
for-
wish.
A favor from the queen.
Oh, a favor? I could probably have more use of a favor.
Then gold. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
So do we have him then send a messenger back while we head to the infestation?
I think maybe we
Because
should let's go for the boon, because that's great to have the queen's favor, of course. If she turns it
So
down, then we
ask
just
him
take the
to
money.
Send a messenger, or we go north and then south again. Okay.
No, I think
We're going south. We can't let it.
We can't let this
stay-
grow any farther. No.
Right.
I think the sad part is that we did want to help the first time we were there.
Yeah, we just got wrapped up in other shite.
Yeah.
So we won't tell them that.
No, we'll leave out that tidbit.
They don't need to
We
know
would
that.
probably have done this for free, but a boon is great. So we have him send a messenger so that at least we get a response, and we won't necessarily have to head back here if it's not going to happen.
Right.
And if it's not, the boon's not going to happen, then it's going to be 500 gold apiece.
That sounds fair, I think. Like you said, they needed dragons the first time.
Dragons, yeah. I'm not as powerful as a dragon. I don't know about any of you, but
That's what I told him. We're squishier than dragons.
yes. Fruit. Yes.
You can
Yeah.
speak for yourself.
I mean, I agree. Maybe powerful as a dragon. I mean, comes in small sizes, you know.
No, I'm certainly joking. I'm no dragon.
But the sisters, I mean, you never
Aye.
know.
But the whole 3 feet tall thing.
That means
And the
they
town
won't
didn't
expect
have
it.
horses, correct?
Town does not have a. I mean, it has a stable, but they are workhorses for the town. They're not travel horses.
What about the town next door? The village next door? I'd ask Adam if he knows.
The village next door is incredibly small and minute
Okay.
in terms of its supplies. It's more like a. It's almost a retirement village. It's like, just leave us alone. This is like us, and that's it. Yeah, they have certain dealings with Jinzo, but not a massive amount.
A few days doesn't feel that long. I know they reproduce quickly, but I don't know how quickly we'll be able to get there.
As long as we get
Otherwise.
there. As long as we get there as fast as we can, I feel like it'll be alright. At least we're doing our best. At least we are traveling.
Okay. So before we go, I'd like to check with the Worm Queen to see if she knows anything. So to do that, though, I'm just gonna step in Adam's back garden area,
Okay. Cool.
and I just tap on the ground like I do for the worms.
All right. You can go ahead and pull one of the
Worm
worm
Queen
bastards
is-
up
is-
from the ground.
Worm Queen is
Worm
Hades.
bastard. Oh
Worm
my
bastard.
god.
You tap on the ground and
1, 2,
Hades
3, 4, and
comes.
5.
And I cast speak with animals, and I say, Your Highness, do you know anything about? I'm never going to remember their name. Krutix.
Kruthic.
Thick. Okay. Do you know anything about Kruthic in all of your wormy memories?
Okay. It'll go ahead and dig its way into the ground in order to send its message to the Queen. It's going to take a little while to come back. It has, it's a hive consciousness. It's not a hive mind, so to speak. It's kind of like social creatures. They're smarter when they're grouped, but individually, they're kind of silly. No like
Scream.
psychic hive mind, so to speak. It takes a little while before you hear the drilling of a worm as it pops up and responds to you that the worm queen has no idea.
What are croutons?
You can ignore the metal people who are in the town. They'll be leaving soon, and so will we.
You can ignore the metal people.
Long life. Live well.
Live long and prosper, worms.
Right. Okay, and then I go back inside.
All right.
Her worminess didn't know anything, so that was a dead end.
Her worminess. Wonderful. I wish that Sinclair was here just to be like, these people are weird. What am I doing?
I forgot that the queen wanted to be referred to as her worminess, and now I'm dying all over again.
You are welcome.
Okay.
Sometimes the story is serious, and then sometimes that happens.
So I guess we go find Sinclair.
Unless anyone has any unfinished business here.
Let's go before the insects have any other
Not me.
chance
Alright.
to multiply.
And before my speak with animals wears off, I say, Pomegranate, you're my favorite, and walk out.
Love it, love it. All right. So, you go ahead and make your way out and go have a chat with Sinclair. As you leave the building, the town seems relatively normal, considering the huge amount of military personnel. You probably gather that this village is used as a follow through quite a lot. Sinclair appears to be discussing plans with a few of his men. He seems to be holding something small and crystalline in his hand. Seems to be almost almost lapis lazuli, kind of like bluish hue across it. And he seems to be both almost talking to it and talking to his men. And as you walk up, the item in his hand suddenly crumbles and disappears. It just kind of shatters in his hand.
That's sus. That's sus.
I was hoping to like use something so I could hear what they were saying, but it's gone. It's gone.
I mean, like, you would be able to hear what he's saying. He's just speaking at regular, like, slightly louder volume. He appears to be giving a rundown of the situation, how his men are, and then talking about you guys. And how, essentially, he just says, I've commissioned help for the current situation, especially considering the concerns and now increased concerns of new information. They requested a strange amount of payment. They requested a boon of you, Your Majesty. I will grant them an audience if it is your will. Sinclair out. He notices you approaching and just... good. I didn't want to use it, but you kind of forced my hand. That was my last sending crystal. So, Her Majesty will know of the current situation, but to be able to declare our victory or our defeat, well, we will have to either return or not come back.
How will she make you aware of her decision?
she is incredibly more talented than I am when it comes to communication and the magical arts. So I think she will be okay.
So we will hire on with you. We will go ahead because we'll probably travel faster than your army and get a lay of the land, see what the situation is. Hopefully by then your liege will have gotten back to you with her decision. And that at that point, if further negotiations are necessary, we'll make further negotiations.
Very well.
Is there something you're not telling us? She looks him dead in the eye, like 1,000-yard stare, like she's Chuck Norris.
He pauses for a moment and just, what? Other than the fact that I just used my last crystal?
Yes, other than that. We'd like everything out on the table. We're going to put our lives in danger. We need to know everything.
Very well. A word to the side, if you please.
She steps to the side with him.
Wait, can we all as a party also step to the side with him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I was
Just
gonna
her
say, can
or
we
all of
eavesdrop
us?
on that? But I like that all of us are just kind of going with him.
So I'm going to be honest with you. These men are highly trained, yes, well armed. Some of them are veterans. Some of them have not seen a single piece of combat. If it is a full infestation, I am worried that I may perhaps lose people I did not want to lose. I am military, don't get me wrong, but these are my men. I trained them. I've fought with them. I've dined with them. I've met their families. I just do not want to see any of them perishing before their times. That is my only concern with this new information.
Well, I am sure that Oren and Eridan, who have fought these things before, would be happy to share any information they have. So that maybe on your way, you can train your men better in tactics of
And
fighting.
I promise you I will do what I can
And no, of course, thanks.
to help your men if they are injured. While we are there with them.
That is appreciated. I apologize. I don't think I caught your name.
Dawan. And she'll give a little bow of her head. Cat nod.
He nods slowly.
Also, hello, RPG Anonymous.
All right.
Thanks for the raid.
Hey, friends! Welcome.
Hello, welcome.
We are playing some TTRPGs and having a bunch of fun. Hope you're keeping well. Hope your stream went okay. Yeah. We are enjoying ourselves with a little bit of planning as our party goes ahead and perhaps throws themselves into a bit of a situation. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. So, as Dawan has gone ahead and said this, and Clara's just kind of nodded and just, I know of the creatures. We have records. Any extra information would be of great assistance. However, I shall go ahead and talk to them both now. Thank you. He kind of pats his chest once.
Gracious DM, since it has been so long, do Orin or I remember if there was like any like weaknesses? Also, like what was, I don't remember like what their attacks were. Did they spit like venom or some shit? Like poison?
Spines, yes.
They spit spines.
Spines, yeah.
Okay.
They can not spit, they can fire the spines from their body as projectiles.
Right. That is correct.
I can tell you a bunch of things, but it's been 25 episodes. I don't really know.
25 episodes since April. So
also, judging by the size of them, you have only fought one fully grown one. All the others were runs. The fully grown one was the last one you killed. It was the last one that came out of the ground. All the others were babies.
Mamas here.
Yeah, all the others were babies. That wasn't even Mama. That was technically the normal one.
God.
fuck.
While they're speaking with Sinclair, I'm gonna go back to Adams and back behind his house. Gonna call the worms out. I need you guys to defecate for me. I need some of your slime.
Is it
You
their
mean
poop,
secret?
or is it their?
Secrete.
It's
I don't
a
know how-
secretion. It's not a defecate.
Secretion.
That's a very different thing.
I mean,
Give me all the worms.
Either way,
shit.
it's gross.
And I'm gonna fill a wineskin with their stuffs.
God.
Once again, I would like to welcome the Raiders.
Okay.
Listen, it may come in handy, especially since we're fighting whatevers.
Okay. So you have a bottle of worm secretion. As a reminder, it is essentially an adhesive sealant. If you were to cover something in it, you could make it waterproof. Well, technically, you could seal it in a vacuum in general, but if you went ahead and pulled all the rest of the air out of it, but yeah.
So while they're talking to Sinclair, and once we made that decision to head to back to Zatane, I'm actually going to use sending again, and I want to send a message to Ton. And I want to say, this is Eridan. We've made some new friends, and we're heading back to Zatane to handle the infestation. Just wanted to let you know.
The message immediately comes back. You're heading back to that death trap. Are you sure that this is something you want to do?
Gonna cast sending again. And I'm going to say, this is last sending spell. An army is headed that way. We will be joining them to help. Not sure if best idea, going anyway. I can't do the accent and sending at the same time. Sorry. Eridan's accent goes out the window when I'm thinking too hard.
They are idiots. If you are with them or scouting ahead, meet me outside the gates. I'll help you end this.
Off wens.
I send nothing back
I like-
because that's
I
all
like
of
that
my
that's-
third level spells. And
I
I
like
know
that
sorcerer.
That's it. That's it. That's all I got.
On your phone.
Done.
Oh no, sending's a track phone.
When it fails, it's just, sorry, the person you are calling is not available at the
No,
moment.
it's just you get the
Oh
same
my God.
message back with an
Please leave a message after the tone. Beep. Excellent. Sending is actually just... is actually just
Testing.
EE.
Just
Fantastic.
1980s pack bell.
Oh my god.
Is that what the really old, like, super wizened wizards do?
Verizon before Verizon.
No. I'm saying is in like the old wizards just like pull out a big brick phone as they cast sending. Just hello.
They're using
No,
coconuts.
they
Okay,
put a
but
phone
like-
in their ear.
So,
just
question.
you can help.
Just hello.
With a string, a cobra.
Yeah.
My question is, can I have Jotra make me an antenna so that I can send messages
Wait,
to the fire
could it
plane?
also be-
So next time the dragon answers.
Could it be
You
one of the-
can't have a permanent connection to the fire.
Oh wait, is
You
there
can't-
wait,
can't
is there a
build
long distance package with sending? Do I have to pay
can't
extra?
build
Is that a
a
high?
mobile
with
phone
an
tower
antenna
in
that
the
you have to, like,
fireplace?
pull out?
Oh, wonderful. Also, Adam, thank you for the advantage. It's appreciated.
So after Mara is done milking,
Adam is
for-
a true harbinger of chaos.
I love it.
she returns to the rest of the party.
All right.
I went and
Sinclair
got some.
goes back to
warm
he goes
milk.
back to going to say, oh my god. Gross. Sinclair goes ahead and just goes back to discussing with his men. Eventually, he will break off and approach Eridin and Orin in order to get information about the combat that they have already had with Kruznik. Is there any other discussions or anything else that people would like?
No.
All right. After a brief information session, Sinclair will go back again to speak with his allies before turning back to you all and saying, it's all right. I believe we are ready to go.
Okay, we'll see you outside the gates.
See you outside the gates. Be careful.
Always. Well, I can't speak about these people, but yeah, always.
These creatures are aggressive. Show no quarter. He taps his chest again.
Stream kitty. Oh, she's so cute. I'm gonna die.
She's like, let me go, Mom.
That was an unhappy cat.
Yeah, the internet.
Full on put her paw on my throat and was like, let me go.
Give me love! Oh my god!
I love her. She's my baby, but she gets annoyed sometimes that I pick her up.
So yeah, we head out on the most direct route.
Yeah, just whatever will be the quickest to get directly there, since we know it's kind of a timed issue.
If you go ahead and don't travel by the road, it will probably be more dangerous, but it'll shave.
There's
a
nothing
good few-
around. The worms scared everything away. We're gonna get eaten by the chipmunk.
From around Janezo, yes, but you will be entering the meadows of Zenri as a whole, and then approaching Zatane. Yeah, so it could possibly be more dangerous, but you would shave a good few days off your journey. As I say, you would literally, if you were to go direct, you'd be going like 2, maybe 3 days max.
We're going direct.
And is the army taking the roads? Do we know that?
The army will be taking the roads, yes.
So we'll get there more quite.
You'll be getting there probably a few days before they do. If you were to go ahead and just engage straight away, or scout out, or however, yeah. They will be picking up their pace in order to travel, but they also are a military group, so they'll have to conserve their stamina.
And they're wearing freaking.
And they're waking, yeah, they're
all wearing
waking plate mail, yes.
Yeah.
After
Decorated silver plate.
2 things. What time is it? Because I know it was morning. Is this about afternoon-ish now?
Yeah, with a little bit of faffing around, you'd probably be at about 2-3 o'clock.
Okay. And then secondly, after we head out on the direct route, Aridin will say, so I didn't have luck with Nerthan, but I did contact our friend Torn, who was in Zitane when the infestation happened. He'll be meeting us outside the gates when we get there. So we'll have some other help as well.
Don's a good lad. You'll like him. A bit serious, but he's fine.
He's good people.
How exciting.
Said the dragon ignored my message. Rude.
Left
me on red.
We can get would be nice. So I guess we're going. We're heading into danger
Again.
It's exciting.
Heading into danger.
Listen, there's a reason why this episode is titled A Rough
All right.
Awakening. It's been easy. Now it's the real stuff. Now Ray's gonna kill me again.
This was the worms were like the intro tutorial battle for the new friends, and now we're getting
so what
into
I'm hearing is that instead
messy
of trying
stuff.
to exterminate the
Mara's gonna talk to the
Yes.
worms, or to the.
we're gonna set up some kind of
And-
complicated
and say,
commercial
okay.
business. All right.
Right.
Hog lords.
Oh, I don't think that's gonna work this time. The worms were not nearly as hostile as these fuckers.
It's true. That's true.
Well, and you did kill some of their family, so they're probably still upset at you.
I think that was the ones that we fought the first time were isolated because the innkeeper was sacrificing people to the Kruthic living in her basement.
I'm sorry. Where there was sacrificing happening? Where did that?
Yeah,
The
we
innkeeper thought that sacrifice a few for the many. Didn't quite work that way. That was the last time we were there.
Yeah, the city was being invaded. This person thought it was safer to satisfy the Kruthic with a body every now and then, rather than basically just get eaten herself. So
I think it's also worth mentioning that the ones that we fought were much
Young.
smaller. Yes, they were young. We've only fought
And-
one larger one.
Ooh, this queen better come through with this boon, or she's gonna have some Kruthic on her hands.
What happened with this in person?
we let the rest of the town take care of her.
Oh,
We don't.
okay.
Do we know what they decided? What they did?
Oh, I'm pretty sure that they murdered her.
Oh, good.
I think Ishin was there and was like, yes.
Yes. Ishin was very pro the death penalty.
I kind of veiled over that. I was like, whatever you think happened, happened.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Well, okay. Hopefully, there's not sacrifices happening again. But,
I don't know if
That was-
anyone's left in the town. They all, only a handful managed to escape to Gilton.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think that there's anyone left.
Oh, did a lot of physical damage to these things? How did you fight them?
Brute force.
A lot of wax.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Fighting.
That was before I got me fire key.
So
Yeah, everyone knew
perhaps
tricks
we'll
since
fare
then.
Better?
I think we will.
Well, we're gonna have to because I doubt they're still babies.
I think
Yeah.
We're walking and talking now, right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
on our way.
totally.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're not just like
don't worry.
hanging out.
You're not just chilling out, standing still. I wouldn't be that cruel. Like, well, you didn't say you were moving yet. So.
Okay. So you're
Well, I
still
mean,
right where you started.
I think kind of sneaking in, getting an idea of the lay of the land. Maybe if we can establish it's not as large as we're fearing, we might be able to take it out ourselves, but also having the
You could send your little golem friend into the tunnels again. I can scout from above if need be.
So these are like tunneling creatures again.
Yes.
Okay. I do have I can use clairvoyance and see a location. I don't know how well it will work with tunnels per se, but if we find something out, it works within a mile. So once we get close, if we know where I can look, I can try to do that and get information.
If we get close to an entrance of their tunnel, that'd be a good idea, I think.
We'll be fine.
All right.
Actually, just before we move on, a very quick thing. Valentine has something that might speed up the journey a little.
Okay.
I see the gears turning, Leona. Yes.
Yes, Leona.
It is called the Broom of Flying.
Mm-hmm.
So Valentine, as we continue to walk and talk, remembers that she's carrying a broom around and goes, "One moment," pops this broom on the ground, speaks a command word, which I haven't thought of yet, so I will think of a command word, and then hops onto it. It can carry up to 400 pounds, but its flying speed becomes 30 feet while carrying over 200 pounds. But she'll look at Jacaranda and she'll look at anyone else and go, "Anyone want to ride?"
Yes, please.
Hop on. She'll hold out a hand.
Hops on. Never flown before, so this should be fun.
Oh, you'll be fine. It's a lot of
A
fun.
whole new.
Oh, no.
I was gonna
There
say
it
I'm not
is.
gonna.
No,
There it
you can't
is.
go full Disney
It's already
with it.
too late. We did it. It's there. It happened.
I was
It
like,
was-
wait for it. Wait for it.
It was
I mean,
so
if
off
y'all
key, it
weren't
doesn't
gonna, I
count.
was going to.
A whole new perspective.
Ah.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
Oh.
And it has a flying speed of 50 feet, so long as we are not over 200
What the
pounds.
fuck? The broom flies faster than Aridin does.
This will be very helpful because I am so slow. I need to figure out a way of fixing that somehow.
No, Soup should have given us the shoelaces.
What?
Fuck.
Shoelaces.
Soup.
Yeah, we had
Soup had speedy laces.
Yes, he had a magic item called the Lace of
Is this
Face,
how he kept up?
which increases your movement speed. But he gave
He would
it
joke
to...
that he was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. He gave it to Sally, so...
We'll fix it at some point. The broom for now is amazing.
that's fine.
Fantastic. That means you can move at your pace instead of Jacaranda's pace.
What is everybody's speed? Just out of curiosity.
30. 40 with Blade Song, and then I have a 30 flying speed.
30.
35. Oh, go ahead.
35. Yeah, I'm 40 because monks.
I'm currently 50 because I want to.
20.
Now hold on a minute. If I do my Blade Song, do I get 40 flying feet?
I don't know. Does it increase your flying speed or does it increase your movement speed?
Isn't flying movement though?
It's the wording. If it says it increases your walking speed, it's only your walking speed. If it increases your movement speed, it's everything.
Oh no, it does say walking speed. Wow. Rude.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's not your fault. Someone else wrote this. I'll be writing a strongly worded letter.
Sending a strongly worded message.
In like verse of 3.
Yeah.
And it'll have the 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3.
And they all come jumbled up because for some reason that's what
Yeah,
happens.
the second one sends, then it's the fourth. The fourth
Yep.
that wasn't even there, it sends. Then the first one sends. So the entire sentence makes no sense. Also, I bet y'all are wishing that you took Longstrider now.
There's still yet time.
That spell, it's not that useful until you need to travel. But yes, so Valentine has gone ahead and used the Broom of Flying to speed up Jacaranda a little bit. So y'all can go ahead and make that journey for the sake of expediency and for the sake of I don't do random encounter tables. You spend a few days, you can camp over, go ahead and take a long rest if you need it to grab whatever spell slots you may have used back or anything along those lines. As you are kind of cresting out of this pathway, you now see the full extent of this section of Zenri. You see again the large rolling meadows, plants, slight inclines and hills that scatter across this area. You see perched upon one of the larger hills, the city of Zatane. What once was the capital of Zenri is destroyed, essentially. Even from the outside, you can see sections of wall missing, thick smoke pluming from various different parts of the city itself. You would see sections of the battlements have been torn away, and you see almost partially made, even from this distance, you can see a partially earth-based construct, partially created from the ruins of the town itself. Sections of building, roofs, foundations, wood, metal, stone, mixed into the dried but almost still moving earth as a large, almost writhing mass now sits in the center of a city. Created from mud and dirt, this large hive-like structure now sits. It almost seems alive. The nest itself seeming to move slightly on the horizon. The construct itself is just a little taller than the walls around the city itself. Not quite as tall as the battlements or the towers, but certainly taller than just a regular old building. Even from this distance, you start catching a whiff of decay, a whiff of bile, a whiff of acid that seems to just linger and tinge the air. As you step closer and closer, traveling more across these fields, it's a stark contrast in comparison to the beautiful outside of nature and what you are about to face. The closer you get, the more that's also tinged with a scent of metallic iron. Looking at the building or looking at the gates itself, you can now see tinges and splashes of blood, which seem to scatter across both the gates and the walls themselves. No bodies, though the viscera itself is present. There are a few sections of rock that sit around the outside of the perimeter. Just leftover boulders and other such debris just from natural formation. Sitting, leaning against one of them. For those of you who haven't seen this individual yet, you see a gentleman in full plate, a little more torn up than perhaps Sinclair's, wearing a bright shield with a decorative symbol woven across the entire shield itself. A sword at the hip. The gentlemen themselves are a shifter. They have quite, I guess the closest description would be owl-like features. They have feathers that kind of come back and across, almost spiked hair slicked down behind them. And probably the most noticeable feature would be 2 sets of eyes. Primary, regular eyes in the center, and peripheral eyes wrapping around all the way to where the other side of their temple would be. As the secondary eye flickers towards you, there's a sigh of relief that exits as he turns and gives a wave.
Good to see you made it.
My sword arm's still a little stiff, but...
Sorry about that.
This is a very different party than when I last met you. Greetings, companions. I'm Tom.
Yes, Ton, this is Mara. This is Jack, and this is Valentine.
Dawan.
And I think you met Dawan?
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes.
Briefly, yes. Very, very.
This isn't a Sally situation exactly.
Who the fuck is Sally? He smiles again. I just realized that all 3 of you are bloody clerics.
What did you just realize?
What does
it's
that
like
mean?
I remembered. I'm like, oh. So the markings on Torn's shield are essentially what appears to be almost water and 2 whirlpools next to each other that are spinning into each other and cannibalizing each other. It is the symbol of Gratolitz, who is the vacant deity of the sea, storms, change, lunar
Is that
cycles,
what
etc.
happens? Is that what it's?
I have a very important question. Do you do hugs?
I am afraid to say that's not really my brand.
Okay. Would you like a smoothie?
I see. I will take it. It has been a long road.
I give him some of the smoothie I got from them.
And you mentioned something about your arm hurting. Do you need healing? Do you need help?
Just an old injury. It's healing.
Oh, okay.
Valentine recognizes this symbol because it's the same deity. Is there a common greeting that she could use, or would it just be more of a "I see this, I know" kind of a thing? I don't know.
Some followers of Gratulitz usually, the kind of common greeting between them would just be "Tides bless you." It's kind of just a general hello / I hope our God is watching over us kind of thing. It's just really simple.
I love it.
But
Yeah,
I hope
think
our
she
God
would-
is watching over us.
I hope they are, because if they're not,
Hopefully.
shit.
But yeah, no, she'll smile and she'll say, "May the tides bless you."
He looks a little shocked for a moment and smiles. Apologies, it's been a while. And may they bless you as well.
Thank you.
A follower too?
Yes.
I have not pledged my allegiance for too long, but I've been led through calm waters. That's enough for me.
Wonderful.
That is a big anthill.
He seems calmed by your greeting, Valentine, as he becomes a little overthinking. And as Mara says that, he just snaps back. His peripheral, so he can move his main eye and his peripheral eye separately, which is a little creepy, but cool.
When you say eye, you mean like the irises pupils? Like there's two in one eye?
Yes. Two irises and two pupils in one eye that stretches across to the temple. But he can move both irises separately in order to
Jesse's
see
disgusted.
beyond his peripheral.
Dawan is medically intrigued.
As a shifter yourself, you would recognize this specific mutation of shifter is rare. There's a few of them. There's a few of them that exist in the world, but in general, most shifters would be like yourself. There are features. Some shifters have further mutations, which allow them to have extra abilities while they aren't shifted. And he's one of them. Yeah. So Mara's comment kind of snaps him back to reality as he... Yes, I have been keeping an eye on it for a while. Here
Right.
we're fine, but if you are to approach a few too many yards, they will start sending out sentries. And that, as you can imagine, is a problem.
Can we make a big magnifying glass?
Ray, what was the name of that event that happened? The chromatic.
The Chromatica Convergence.
Torn, do you know anything about the Chromatica Convergence?
A piece of history that happened thousands of years ago.
Apparently it had something to do with another mega hive of Kruthic, and they needed dragons to come in and eradicate them.
Oh,
Would you
well,
say,
that bodes well for our chances.
would
Oh,
you
you
say that
giant
it's grown to
magnifying
that
glass.
size?
Just huge. Huge.
I don't think that's going to be possible, but also it would probably deal with our problem kind of quickly. I am not exactly an expert when it comes to Kruthic. So, there are many creatures I know about. Kruthic are not one of them. Honestly, I was waiting for you before I even went ahead and properly poked around.
Would say that's smart. Has it gotten worse since you were last here?
Well, seems like they've built more of their nest. Which also
we
means
flood
they
them
probably...
She's just sitting here trying to, like, what would I do with ants?
He laughs.
Create water, though.
He laughs, and then his laugh turns into a ponder as he... Well, there is the river in the center of the city. I do not know its source. I don't know how much water. It's a possibility. All I know is that they were getting incredibly aggressive. Some of their...
We could flood them out. I could hit it with lightning.
I could hit it with lightning too.
Can any of you call storms?
I'm checking
And
right
we'll
now.
just have a storm sit here for, like,
3 to 5 working days until
40 days and 40 nights, that type of thing.
I will say that they have changed.
What is it? Yeah.
Oh no, what does
Change
that
how?
mean?
The ones that you showed me and the ones that I have seen during our escapades and our defense of the town, they were relatively simple. They appear to have gone some kind of metamorphosis. Some creatures seem to have new abilities, new features.
Reed, the DM fucked around with the stat block and said, hell yeah.
You
That doesn't
have...
bode well.
Could we
Okay,
isolate
yeah,
one
wait.
of them?
I do have create or destroy water. I could cast it at 3rd level.
On the river and have it flood.
Or just cast
Does
it.
anybody
I've seen a river
into
flood. That's a very
the
slow
hive.
process.
That also works, yes.
Don't know how large the hive is. It might take the entire river. Do we have any way of channeling it from where it's at to come to one of their openings?
Anyone have birth?
Perhaps it's best to actually see what we're dealing with before.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm looking for is like move Earth.
No.
Yeah, because if they can, like, swim, then that plan's not going to work.
when you say we get too close and they're gonna come out charging, what if it's only about a foot high? Just a wee little guy.
Can you change how the golem looks, Orin?
He always just kind of looks like molten rock.
Oh no, because he usually look like a little person?
Can he look like a rolling stone?
I was gonna say, could he look a little bit more Kruthic-like rather than people-like?
I guess I don't see why not. I kind of like the idea of just summoning him into a little ball, having him roll down there. It's a possibility.
Yep.
Fuck it, let's try it. And his tattoo's gonna flare up, and the energy's gonna come to his arm. He's gonna bring little Jack, but he's gonna go and shape him into a ball. I mean, we're kind of close enough, right? Or
Suddenly realizing that I didn't give you a stat block for this construct. Because this isn't what I expected.
He gets to he can guard, he can patrol, and he has 1 hit point.
Mm-hmm. So as you're sending him forwards, like to the gates, essentially, right?
Yeah. So I think, okay, before I actually do this, I think I kind of want to get like as close as we can without like raising any kind of alertness. And then summon him and send him into like one of the entrances of the hive and see how far he can go.
You know what the best part of this is? Jumping Jack Flash is a Rolling Stones song.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, so you can go ahead and basically follow Torn. He'll let you know roughly the spot. And then you can go ahead and send Jack forwards.
Okay, and I'm trying to pull him up.
I don't think I gave you a full-on stat block for him.
You gave me a description for sure, and I'm not sure where he's at. Oh, here it is. It's under, okay, Crimson Servant of the Sisters.
I don't think I gave you stuff like Dex or AC or anything like that.
No. Well, he has an 8 AC and 1 hit point.
Oh, 8 AC. Okay, cool. So a 13 will hit.
And can...
He begins to walk forwards and nothing really seems like out of the blue, so to speak. He continues walking forwards, and as he begins to approach the gate, the ground underneath him moves slightly, as suddenly a set of large jaws come up from under the ground and just envelop and crunch and pull him down into the ground.
Poor Jack. They got him. He didn't get very far in, and they snapped him.
There's probably another way, but for now you've been traveling. At least get a breather in before we go ahead and tackle this.
A strategy meeting.
I think I have a plan.
And we do have that group coming as well. So we'll have more people here.
I think I have a plan to at least poke our heads in. Fingers crossed.
I know that Sinclair basically hired us because he wants us to die instead of his men, but should we wait? Have them be the distraction and we come sneaking in and find a way to take it all out?
I do not like the idea of using soldiers as
Well, I think we should
fodder.
Right. We should watch. Take time to watch and see if there's any way we can maybe isolate one or two of them. And then find out what can hurt them. Can fire even hurt them? Did you try fire? You said a lot about brute force.
What level were we at when we fought them?
Like
We were babies.
2,
Yeah, we were level 2
level
or
2, level 3.
I didn't
We were
even
small.
have firepower at that point.
Are they affected by water? Can they be poisoned?
Do they even?
These are things we should
breathe?
probably find out before we try to take on the Hive. Right.
I shock them with thunder.
Like you're doing that right now, or
No. As in, as no.
Just,
As
hey,
in,
let's figure this out.
no. As
I
in,
thought
that
we were
was-
just going.
That was no. That was Valentine adding to the list of questions.
Do they seem to be nocturnal or diurnal?
I think they're definitely nocturnal,
Can we feed them their favorite?
if I remember
Can we
correctly.
talk to them? Can we have a tea party?
I'd really rather we didn't. Actually.
So watching is definitely good. And so we saw sorry, I'm kind of switching from talking in character to not in character. We see a large writhing mass, but then one came up and grabbed the Golem Jack.
So the hive is in the center of the city itself, but this happened like as Jack was walking up, a set of jaws came out of the ground, ate him, and pulled him down.
And it was the same, it was one of those. It's just a large one of those.
You wouldn't be able to tell. You literally only saw the jaws.
Oh, okay, so we're not sure what came out of the ground.
Did it
Okay.
look? I mean, it probably looked larger than the ones that we faced.
No, it's probably about the size of one of the babies.
One of the babies is big enough to eat.
He's only 1 foot.
Jack's only a foot
Oh.
tall.
That's
Jack's
still,
only a foot tall, so
Yeah.
that's still pretty big for what I was
I
thinking.
kind of imagine they have like snake-like mouths where they can just like
Okay.
munch.
a young Kruthic is about the same size as Orin. They can be like 3 to 4 foot.
Okay.
Oh, Orin and Soup and Jotra fighting these things.
And then the one regular one you fought was about 6 foot.
Fire, hopefully.
Wow, that's
Yikes.
you know, I don't think we had like a size given to us. At least I don't remember at this point because it was level 2 and we're now level 8. Thanks, I hate it.
Also, so because I do not sleep, I can keep watch while people do sleep, just so we kind of have a round the clock idea of what they do. Just throwing it out there.
That would be good. Also, do you know if they're susceptible to sound? Do they hunt by sound?
Really
Do they
not
have
sure.
eyes?
They do have eyes, and they definitely are pheromone based. The way that they were being attracted by the well, let's just call it the evil barmaid. They were crushing eggs, and they were being
And the
attracted
smell
that
would
way.
lure them, yes.
Just normal eggs?
No, they're Kruthic eggs.
Oh, okay.
So they do breathe then, since they can scent.
Aye.
Maybe there's some type of airborne poison we could create.
Question. Was Cadence the one in the shady egg business?
Hey,
Cadence-
Cadence, yeah.
Yeah, the tabaxi.
Yeah. As much as I loathe to have to contact him again, but
He's dead, isn't he?
I can contact him.
I
from
don't know,
beyond.
maybe.
I think
Oh.
he's dead. I
I
think
say that's a good thing to know.
Jay Cadence was the one that you spoke to. Athenos kept him alive, but he was not with the refugees. Torn specifically mentioned that he was essentially gutted.
Oh, I forgot that tidbit. Oh boy. Well, that's juicy. Okay. I don't like that word usage. That's anyway. Never mind.
Torn nods to everything going on as he turns towards you all. I can at least get us past the front gate if we want to go ahead and prod and poke at their defenses and see what we can learn that might be best before a full-scale assault happens.
How close is what, like, the ones that we can see?
There was one, you can no longer see it. It went straight back into the ground as soon as
Okay.
it pulled Jack in. It just...
Okay.
Are
But
there
it
any
isn't
trees around that she can talk to?
No trees in this area. There's plants, but it's like one of those like big open meadows. It's just kind of like there's small like rabbits and stuff still running around, but nothing big or anything like that.
Okay.
It's
I
a
guess
big
a
open
rabbit.
field
Like-
/ meadow area.
Is it like abnormally quiet where there aren't many animals around?
The creatures aren't going anywhere near the castle, but they wouldn't anyway. Castle, I say city, sorry.
Okay.
But other than that, doesn't seem nothing abnormal.
Yeah.
It's not like the worms where everything was gone. This seems perfectly normal apart from the big ass hive in the middle of the town.
Burying animals away.
Another idea. If we did a glyph of warding, I'm not sure exactly. I could put it on something. I think it can only move a certain distance, but it could be a good starting point to explode.
I have a few casts of my Abjure that I'll be able to keep at bay if we do need to get rid of anything. He kind of settles back and puts his shield back down. But for now, I need a nap.
Yeah, I should rest up before going in.
Just a little one at least. You have traveled far. Half an hour isn't going to hurt.
Is it daytime?
It's... Hang on, time and maps. It would be, you would have camped nearby, so it would be close to probably about 10 o'clock.
But we see them writhing, so they're not dormant.
You can't see any of the creatures. You can see the hive itself, and the hive itself is writhing and moving. The hive itself seems alive. It seems like a creature. But you haven't seen any Kruthic as of yet, apart from the jaws of something that came out of the ground. So, yeah. He goes ahead and settles in for a quick short rest before you all end up going in.
get a long rest in between when
Yeah.
Aridin
Yeah.
sent her messages?
Yeah, you've camped a
Yes.
couple times.
Okay.
Yeah, you've camped a couple times. So, is there any other things or any other words you would like before you go ahead and rest your feet before planning what's going on here? Okay. Having still been traveling for a good few hours after your last camp, you can go ahead and take a weight off your feet quickly. Still keeping an eye on everything going on. It's worth getting yourselves both physically and mentally prepared for what is about to take place, heading into both unknown and perhaps unsettling territory. You keep an eye on this hive that still seems to be moving, pulsing, and writhing. You can hear chattering in the distance. The chattering of teeth, the chattering of chitin. As you all prepare yourselves for the adventure that is about to take place, we'll go ahead and wrap up the session there. As we dive into the Kruthic Den next week.
We just got raided.
Can't wait.
Why
Welcome,
always get
raiders.
raided right at the end? Level 1 Geek, thank you so much for the raid. It's a pleasure to see you. Hope you are doing well, looking after yourself, and all of that wonderful stuff. Yeah, you just caught us at the very end as we're wrapping up and getting ready for the next session. However, we do play every Monday. So go ahead and follow at Mind and Martyr or at Friends Roll Dice for updates on that and see where we're going live. And yeah, thank you for showing up. We can go ahead and just do a quick round the horn here, just for everyone to do a quick introduction for themselves and plug whatever you want to plug.
Oh, I'm
Jesse.
just her pronouns. That's the thing I forgot to say in my introduction. Now I'm saying in my outtroduction. You can find me at Jahoos the Moose on the interwebs. I do art things. If you listen to the Magnus Archives, I've done some art stuff for them, like a wonderfully off-putting apple with a fun surprise on the inside. Yeah.
Damn it, Jesse.
Are you intrigued? Go check
Are you
out the rest
intrigued?
of the merch.
Because I
I
am.
designed that. Yeah. Follow me on Twitter. I will eventually be posting art things. I just need to get past the first. I guess I got past the first week of work. Now I need to get past the future physical therapy for my back. That's it. That's all. Yay. Happy Monday.
Sweet. Leona.
Hello, my name is Leona. You can find me on Twitter at the Leona Maple. I am a sensitivity reader. I am also the founder of a little show called Vibrant Legends. It's an all Bimpuck one-shot series that you can find on the Dicey Amazons channel every Saturday at 2 p.m. PST. So please feel free to join us there. Come hang out, come have fun with us, come play with us, come roll dice with us. We play all kinds of fun indie RPGs, TTRPGs. We love playing Purplest Prose. We love it. As many horrible, cheesy, steamy romance novels as you can imagine. They're terrible. There was actual cheese in one of them. It was weird. It's like it was a fun time though. It was the most bizarre game I've ever seen go down, but it was hilarious. If you've never played Purplest Prose, it's one of our favorites. Absolutely 10 out of 10. Do recommend. Other than that, please feel free to follow me on Twitter or follow Vibrant Legends on Twitter, and you'll hear more about all of my stuff. So yeah.
Fantastic. Adam.
Hello, I am Adam. You can catch me at AdamHardyVO on Twitter and Instagram. I also do the post-production for Mind the Martyr, so if you're just joining us and you're going, what the hell are they even doing? You can always catch up on the Friends Who Roll Dice YouTube. and also podcast if that's a way that you like it. We broadcast through Anchor, so we're on Spotify, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Apple Podcasts. We're pretty much everywhere. I throw in a little background music and some sound effects, mostly from Sirenscape, some of my own creation. So yeah, check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Sweet. Cool.
Hey, howdy, bye. I'm Cole. You can catch me at Cole Moriel on Twitter, where I post art things sometimes. Stay tuned for new Mind of the Martyr art. I'm very excited to draw our new lovelies. And also, you can catch me tomorrow, because it's finally starting, is our Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign over on Rule of Lore. And I'm super excited, and you should check out the Rule of Lore Twitter, because all of the art reveals are finally coming out, and I worked for a month on those character portraits, so you should go look at those, because they're not that I'm biased or anything, but they're pretty neat. They're pretty neat, and also Jessie helped me. Jessie also is my art mom. And she leaves out this fact that she is art mom because she's
it's weird
great.
if I call
so
myself
you should also
art
check
mom.
out her art. And well, then I'll do it for you. She's my art mom. She's great, and you should follow her on Twitter. Okay, and that's me.
Brill. Melissa.
Hello, I am Melissa. You can follow me on Twitter at So Much Geek. I also am at So Much Geek on Twitch. Possibly here if you're watching this live. If you're watching this on YouTube later, then it's not here. There is not much of a schedule right now. Usually Saturdays I play some games. But yeah, mostly following on Twitter is the easiest way to find out, or following on Twitch, and then you'll get those notifications when I go live. And sometimes I do art things too. So great artists
Like
in
that
here.
super cute emote.
Yes, I did emotes recently, and I'm trying to do more emotes, so if anybody's interested, let me know.
I have not conquered emotes. I not my strong suit. I'm super jealous because it's so cute.
Thank you so much.
See what I did there? See what I did there? So cute.
Cute.
Aha! Damn it, there's been too many puns this episode.
And I am responsible for a lot of them.
Speaking of which, Rochelle.
I'm Rochelle, Dragon Gem on Twitch, The Dragon Gem on Twitter and Instagram. I'm here every Monday playing a Disney princess of a bard. So join us. It's fun. It's exciting. We're milking worms and taking names. I don't know.
It's beautiful.
Awesome.
I love that.
Love it. And yeah, that is the fantastic cast here. They're all fabulous, wonderful personalities, fantastic projects that they all do. You should go ahead and support every single one. I'm Ray. You can find me at Red Mage Ray on Twitter. 2020 kicked my ass, so I will be back on stuff eventually, but I feel like I'm just hitting a brick wall repeatedly, so watch that space. You can find me here every Monday DMing the Mind of the Martyr. You can find me Wednesdays as I'm producing for Transient and their channel. You can go ahead and find me every Friday if you're a bit of an early bird, or depending on the time zone, over on Polished Cryptid's channel, where we are doing the Stygian Shroud, which is a 12 to 20 rewrite of Curse of Strahd, which has been super fun. And really, it's been new. It's been a learning experience, so that's been good. I think starting again this Saturday, you can find me over on Savorix's channel, where we are playing through Star Wars Exile, which is a Star Wars The Old Republic live play, which is super fun. I'm playing Zel-Kadar, a Grey Jedi, which has been super fun and one of my favorite characters to play across the last year. And yeah, Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and throw a follow down there. We go live every now and then, definitely every Monday, and we have a whole bunch of charity fundraisers and stuff planned. We've been a little quiet in January, but we are ramping up for some good stuff, so you won't want to miss it. And if you've got any spare pennies or a spare Twitch Prime sub, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. That will help us carry on doing the amazing charity work that we do on a regular basis. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you to our sponsors, so Nerdware and the wonderful folks at Grinding Coffee. We are going to spread the Lud. Good job. Almost got there. We're going to spread the love that you have given us, and we are going to go on a raid. Our little credit reel isn't updated yet, but we'll have that sorted for you next week. It's been a fun and fantastic start to the Mind of the Martyr in 2021, so thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and raid some of our Emporium friends over at Chromaglitch and send them a bit of love. Please stick around for that. And if you want to keep up to date, follow us on Twitter at FriendsRollDice or at Mind and Martyr if it's just the show that you're after. And yeah, thank you so much from all of us. Please wear a mask, stay safe, quarantine. Let's get out of this together. Keep safe, wash your hands, keep moving forward, and take care of yourselves. We'll see you real soon. Take care now.